So Ral West is the founder of Ral West Living the Dream and the creator of a course for entrepreneurs called Overcome Overwhelm. Create a smooth running business with less stress. Raise your hand if you'd like a smoother business with less stress. Yes, that is me too. She has been a business owner and manager for over 40 years, scaling businesses and mastering the art of effective systemization. Respected in both the tourism industry and multifamily real estate circles, Ral is recognized for founding, scaling, and selling successful businesses, authoring courses, and contributing to various boards while also being a philanthropist and dynamic speaker. Welcome, you have the floor.
Well, thank you very much, Stephanie. It's a pleasure to be here. And so did you spotlight me? Yes, I think you did. Yes,
Yes, you are
thank you.
spotlit.
Thank you very much. So, as Stephanie said, I'm Ral West, owner of Ral West Living the Dream. And this is my newest entrepreneurial endeavor and a career that goes back over 40 years. We've created multiple businesses, some of which we've scaled to 8 digits and sold. And it's been a wonderful ride. We wouldn't want it any other way. And I don't intend to retire. So, in this newest venture, I'm teaching business owners how to be the owner versus the operator. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. First of all, why would an entrepreneur want to be the owner versus the operator? Why would you want to work on your business instead of in it? And what would that look like? Why would it be desirable? Well, I found out early on in my career that if you have to have your fingers on the pulse of the business at all times, and if you're the one that's making the major decisions, and you're the one that's calling all the shots, the one that puts out the fires, the one that everybody goes to for the answers, that makes you kind of indispensable. And therefore, that means you're stuck and your business can't grow. You've become the bottleneck, impeding the growth of your business. And I don't really think that's what most business owners want. If you want to grow and scale, you're going to need to be able to step into a different kind of role. Working on your business allows you to gain freedom. You can gain freedom to have time for other things in your life. Maybe it's travel, maybe it's sleep, maybe it's spending time with your family and your friends, or engaging in some kind of fun hobby. But whatever it is, you have the freedom to use your time for something other than running your business. And think about it. When you started your business, you probably had in mind having the freedom to be able to do what you want. And then you may have found that the business was all consuming and you didn't have much of a life anymore. You found you were living for the business. I believe it needs to be the other way around. Your business needs to be there for you, and it needs to work to support your lifestyle and the way you want to live. Another benefit from stepping back and being the owner and not the operator is there's less stress. You can share the weight and the workload with others. You can grow your team, and then you can find that, oh, gee, it doesn't have to all rest on my shoulders. And that allows you to sleep better at night, and your health might even improve. Okay, so now that we know we really want to be the owner and not the operator of our business, how do you get there? What do you need to do? How do you accomplish that? I found many decades ago that there were several ways to do this, and they all rest in 6 basic principles. These are the 6 principles that I've found and believe are the foundation for lasting business success. And they're the principles that helped us grow our business and then step back away from the day-to-day operation and eventually sell our business to Alaska Airlines. So, what are those principles? Well, first of all, you need to have systems. You need to have systems that support the tasks that get the work done. You need to use systems to make the work done in a more efficient way. Written procedures is one way, making sure everyone has their job description or a manual for how these processes and procedures are carried out. That's one way. Maybe using automation and technology. These are great tools for developing systems, and there's many others as well. The second major principle is to measure and track your performance. Gather data so that you can run your business based on the data instead of just by your hunches and, just guessing about the way things are going and assuming, yeah, I think things are going okay. But the question is, how do you really know? So you're going to want to measure data, like obviously your sales, how your marketing efforts are going. Are they producing the results that you want? Are you getting a good ROI from the marketing dollars that you're spending? And that's important to know because if you're not, you want to change something so that you get better returns. You also want to measure your productivity. How quickly are you producing your product? Are you delivering it on time? These are the types of data points that will help you improve the function of your business. Principle number 3 is leverage. You want to be able to use leverage however you can. And leverage can be as easy as delegating tasks to someone, having a member of your team do something for you that they can easily accomplish so that you can do more important tasks. Leverage can be in the form of using technology and automation or outsourcing. For example, outsourcing your bookkeeping to a bookkeeping firm, maybe even outsourcing some of your marketing or your social media. That kind of thing can free you up to focus on growing the business instead of doing the tasks that other people are experts in. Principle number 4 is your company's culture. What is it? What are your values and principles that are guiding your company? And are you communicating those values and principles to your team and to your customers, to your community, and to your vendors? How will people know what you stand for and how you want your business to be known? What are the guidelines for your policies? These are going to be rooted in your values and principles. Everything like how you treat your customers, how you handle a concern from a customer. These are all rooted in your basic cultural aspects, your values, and your principles. Principle number 5 is your team. It's very important to have a team. Even if you're a solopreneur, you don't want to be doing everything all by yourself. And I think that's one of the biggest myths and mistakes that business owners make. They think, oh, I have to do it all myself. If I don't do it, it's just not going to get done right. And you know what? That's just not true. Whether you have employees or a virtual assistant or contractors, you need to know how to delegate tasks properly. There's an art to delegating. You don't just hand it off, walk away, and say, okay, I delegated it. Now it's done. No, 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 no. You have to direct whoever it is that you're delegating that task or project to. You have to give them guidelines to make sure they know what it is that you want as an outcome. Make sure they know when you want it done. And it's not necessary to prescribe every single little detail of how they're going to do it. What you want to make sure is that they know what a good job looks like and what is the end result that you want. And that's not all. You also have to build into this delegation art the feedback loops that you need. You're checking back with people, getting a progress report. Ask them, how are you doing on that? Show me what your progress is. And that way you can provide some guidance in case they're starting to step outside the box of what you really wanted. You're not really done with delegating a task or a project to anyone until that task or project is fully completed the way you wanted and on time. So it requires that you give all the proper instructions and do the follow-up to make sure it's getting carried out the way you want. That's part of building your team. Your team also needs to know what your culture is all about. I've mentioned that before. And, the more you can enroll and engage your team in getting behind what you want to accomplish with your business and how you're serving your customers, the kind of product you want to deliver, the more excited they can be. And the more aligned your team is with your goals and with your visions, the more successful your company will be. So make sure that you're actually working on your team and don't just hire people or get a subcontractor and say, okay, Now I've got a team. That's all I need to do. No, you really need to work at it and make sure that your team is cohesive and moving in the same direction. I like to use this analogy because, I'm from Alaska, so we have dog sleds. So if you could picture for a moment a bunch of dogs harnessed onto the front of a sled, and what if they're all pulling in different directions? Where would the sled go? Well, it wouldn't go anywhere. You can just picture the pandemonium that would exist among the dogs. They're all harnessed in front of the sled, but they're not going anywhere. So you want to make sure that all your team is going in the same direction so that you can get to your desired destination. Now, this is a very important step. Now we have principle number 6. I saved it for the last, but it's certainly not the least important. You want to make sure that your customer service is delighting your customers. You want to make sure that your customers are fully pleased and delighted with the product that you're producing, with the timeliness, with the communication, and with the service that they're getting. And the only way that you're going to know if they're happy and delighted is to go back to step number 1, principle number 1, and make sure you have your systems. And then incorporate principle number 2, which is measuring and tracking your data. You've got to ask your customers and track that data. What kind of feedback are you getting? How happy are they? Do surveys. Ask them. Sometimes verbal feedback is good enough, but you need to track it so that you know what you're doing to please your customers and so that you know how you can improve to make your customers even happier. I believe that the real reason that we're in business is for our customers. We wouldn't have a business without them. We have to have customers to buy our products. So we want to make sure that they want to buy our products. And you know that it costs so much less to keep a customer that you've already won than to go out and win new customers. So do your best to make sure that your customers are delighted. Make sure they're customers for life and that they want to refer other customers to you. That's going to be the key to your lasting business success. So those are the 6 principles, the foundations for lasting business success. I also call them my 6-legged stool. And if any of those legs are missing or too short, your business is going to be wobbly, and you don't want that. You want to make sure that you're working these 6 principles continually too. It's not a one and done project. It's an ongoing process, and these principles will evolve as your business grows. You want to check in on them at least twice a year. Ask yourself, do we still have the right systems? Do any of the systems need improving? How's our data tracking? Are we measuring the right thing? And so on. Make sure that you've still got a really finely tuned, well-oiled machine working for you. That's the key. Again, you want your business to be working for you. You don't want to work for it. So step back. Be the owner and not the operator of your business. Work on your business and not in it. That's what we did. We had a company for 25 years, and we learned how to use all 6 of these principles. I must admit, it took us about 5 years to really figure out how to do it all and get it all in place. But then we were able to step back and hire a couple of managers, a CFO and a COO, and they took what we had built and grew that business even more. They took it even further than we ever imagined. As I mentioned, we grew it to 8 digits in annual revenue over 2 decades ago. And that's why we were able to sell the business to Alaska Airlines. Whether you want to sell your business or you're growing it to pass on to another generation or whatever your exit strategy is, you want to be able to grow it and also be able to enjoy your life. Live the dream. That's what we're doing. We have our dream home here in Sitka, Alaska, and we have a second home on Maui. And we regularly travel across the globe to international destinations, enjoying luxurious, exotic travels. And we do this all the time. And yet we still manage our businesses, and we're able to do it while we live the dream. And I believe you can do that too. If you want to learn more, please check out my mastermind program, which is beginning this summer. Join me and a small group of 7 to 8 figure business owners to learn how to be the owner and not the operator of your business. Reclaim your time and create the freedom to live the life you desire, all while fine-tuning your business to be more successful and robust than ever. I'm going to be using all 40 plus years of my entrepreneurial experience to guide you in learning these 6 principles. And these are the ones that I've found to be the best way to create a business and a life with far-reaching benefits for you and your family and your business. And, I don't just teach theory. I teach what I've actually done and what I've proven works. So please take a picture of the QR code and join the Live in the Dream Mastermind, or share it with someone who could benefit from this great program. I love referrals. Are there any questions?
First, can we please give Ral a round of applause? Round of applause. If you have a question, please go down and click on the React button and raise your digital hand. Ral, thank you so much. I love how you are living the dream. You are like the example of what you teach people to be. So that is fantastic. Vicky, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I'm curious. If you don't have a big business that's that many figures, but you're interested in building it up to a point of being able to sell it so that it can go further than you can just with one person, how would you go about doing that?
Well, the principles still apply no matter what size your business. They apply even if you're a brand new entrepreneur. The mastermind I'm gearing to a little bit bigger businesses, but any business that's established and you've got some track record and you know what you're doing, that can benefit from the mastermind or the online course that Stephanie mentioned, the Overcome Overwhelm course. That's kind of a do-it-yourself way of learning the 6 principles. And that's available online. You can take it at your own pace. So either way, and my website is ralwest.com. Real easy to find me and all the
Okay,
information. And
thank
thanks
you.
for that question, Vicki. I appreciate it.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Maggie, go ahead.
Hi, thanks, Ral. That was super helpful. I know you have 6 points on there. I'm always curious, what's the number one thing, if I didn't do all 6, what's the number one thing I should most definitely be doing?
Well, principle number 1 is systems. And I think that, if you don't do anything else, you got to have systems. I don't care how small your business is, you need systems. I need systems to run my life. So I think it's really important to focus on that and to be using as many tools that you can to create efficiency and save yourself time. That's what we all want, is more time and more freedom. So the more systems you have, the easier you can make it for yourself.
And what would be the top systems that you'd recommend? Like what systems would be like, oh, must have in order to do business effectively?
Well, I would go to the productivity tools, the task managers, the things that help you keep track of all the things that you're doing. If you don't have some way, a little series of sticky notes on your computer screen is probably not the best way to go these days. So there's so many apps online, and the one I use and I've used for over 10 years, I swear by it, is called OmniFocus. But it's not the newest and greatest, it's really a good, robust task manager, and it helps me keep all my projects, all my businesses, all my personal life, all my travel, medical appointments, birthdays, Christmas, everything's organized in this one place. And it integrates with my calendar so that any appointments that I make also show up on what I have to do that day. So if I've got a day that's full of appointments, I know that, okay, well, I can't get many other tasks done because I'm booked with appointments that day. So this is how you can really manage your time and get more done and, keep yourself organized. And what it does too is it helps you avoid that waking up in the middle of the night and going, oh, did I forget something? Is there something I'm supposed to remember to do? Because you've got it all recorded. You know that your brain is right there in that app.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Lynn, final question.
So, Ral, tell us as we're thinking about who we know that would be great candidates for the mastermind. I know you said it's kind of focused on bigger businesses, but one, who are we looking for to introduce you to that would be great for that? And who are your best empowered partners for creating connections to people that'll be ideal for the mastermind?
Oh, thanks, Lynn. I appreciate the question. Well, the big, and I would say it's not really big businesses, small to medium. So if you classify yourself as a small to medium sized business, that works. And anybody who's working with small to medium sized businesses as your own clients, perhaps your service is complementary to what I do. And so any of your clients might be a good target prospect for working with me. And oftentimes it's like accounting services, marketing services, any kind of professional service. And most of the businesses that I work with tend to be in service businesses as opposed to like manufacturing or, selling a tangible product. Although, I mean, the principles apply to those businesses as well, but I just have more experience in service-based organizations. So, I would say don't put yourself out of the running. If you think, oh, I'm too small to get Ral's help, don't think that. I would love to help anybody who's wanting to grow and wanting to learn how to scale because these principles are applicable to all businesses.
Thank you, Lynn. And I so appreciate the direct question of who are your empowered partners, because that's exactly what we're always looking to discover as step one here in this community so that we can make some really, really great introductions and support in the various 5 strategies that we also teach in this group. Ral, thank you again for telling us a little bit more about what you do and how you do it. I believe that now we have some clarity. There's definitely some key people in this space right here today that I think you're going to have conversations with, especially around empowered partnership conversations.
Wonderful.
So,
Thank you so much. I
yeah, thank you.
appreciate everybody's time.